My name is Kyron Turner, aka Gamer One, here to level you up.
All right. Hey, Sugar Cakes. Today I have with me a special guest, Gamer One, or you used to be Player One. Tell us a story
Look
about
at
that.
you. Throw it back. I dated a guy who I am head over heels with as a friend now. I love this guy to death, Chase Cassidy, and we were sitting on the balcony. One of my favorite movies is Ready Player One because it's really fucking like you talk about dope fucking movie shit. I love that movie so much. And so we were sitting there thinking when I like decided to go on this endeavor of creating. He has a network that I was on, and I wanted to do video game things, you know, because I'm an actor and I wanted to develop in this field. And I came up with Player One just from the that movie. But Gamer One actually came because he wanted to make it more specific. And then the branding came along with that by adding the one, adding the colors. And so it was actually like a happy accident. He always told me not to think too hard about like trying to create a brand. And it was a happy accident. It just kind of came. And that's honestly how most of my ideas come. Like names or creative endeavors. I just kind of let the idea roll around in my head. And then usually when I'm taking a shower or something like, you know, mundane or easy, the idea or an idea will come up. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing I've learned is you have to Google your name and see what pops up. If you are not, I say, one of the first three things that popped up, you probably need to go back to the drawing board. So,
And you know, it's funny too because when when I started doing playing around in um, um, creating in a video game space, right? Twitch was not my original goal. I didn't even know about Twitch. Didn't know it was a thing. COVID went by, 2021, 22, didn't know it was a thing. But then when I finally was put on to Twitch, Gamer One, what was taken? There was a certain Gamer One was taken. It was an account that had, I think, no file, and I think you could go and look it up now. I think it has no file. It was like one of those accounts, I guess, that somebody started and dropped, and so I couldn't take that, and so I added the one, and then a friend told me that looks better anyway. It's better branded. It's more recognizable, and I was like, you know what? There it is. That's what we're gonna keep.
yeah.
So that was also an accident.
Yeah, sometimes stuff falls into place like that.
Yeah, it
And
does.
it's easy to remember Gamer One, and you have the Y in there, so it has like a double entendre meaning. So yeah, it's very witty, very fancy.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. That's why I think, and I have a creative space, but I try not to think too hard because I think as creatives, a lot of things come from inspiration rather than like hard placed thought searching for an idea. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, your favorite genre of video games? I say just plural because I don't want to just assume based off what you play on Twitch.
Please do. Yeah.
It seems you heavily prefer either just RPGs in general, both JRPGs and like Western style RPGs. How did that come about?
I started playing video games when I feel like, I swear to God, I just felt like Kamala Harris. I was raised in a middle class family. I'm sorry. I started playing video games when I was, God, for as early as I remember, I think 3 or 4. My first video game being Duck Hunt. And I remember sitting in front of that box brown big ass TV we had, you know, with the gun controller. And I was a Nintendo kid, but I didn't really get into video games. And you were right. My favorite genre is RPGs until I met a good friend of mine at the time whose name, and I never, ever want to forget this. We don't talk as much now, but I don't ever want to forget this cat because I love him to death. Corey Wright, Final Fantasy X. He was playing it one day, and I was like, what is this? And he was like, it's called RPGs, and he told me what it meant, role-playing games, and what that entails, and the mechanics, and kind of what makes this type of game, because I didn't know it was a thing. And I played it. He was like, you should play it. And so I played it, and I fell in love. And then shortly after that, it was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I would have to say, and I was thinking about this. I, you know, I'm the RPG streamer, right? But my favorite subsection, I like JRPGs are they're fun. I love them, right? I have nothing against them. But that open world like Western RPG, you know, there is something my favorite being Bethesda, but there is something about that just does it for me. But it all started with I was like 10 or 11 with my friend Corey. I'll never forget him for that. I'll thank him every day for that. And those will always and forever be my favorite type of games. RPGs just do everything that I want. Everything.
It's funny that you mentioned Final Fantasy X because it wasn't 10 for me, but it was 10-2.
10, come on.
I had the same experience. My cousin came over and brought his PlayStation 2 game, and it was Final Fantasy X-2. And it was the opening scene where they were.
I love it.
You know, they
It's
singing
so
and
gay.
dancing. I was like, oh, wait, hold up. What's going on here? They singing and fighting.
It's so gay. I love it, right? Because then it turns into like this whole thing.
And I was like, what is this? He's like, oh, this is a JRPG. I'm like, well, okay, these girls, they fighting and singing and changing outfits. I was like, wait, hold up.
Yuna was eating it up,
She
okay?
was. You couldn't tell her nothing.
Tearing it up. 10-2. And see, that was one that I didn't find out about until way down the line. Because then, you know, like I said, I moved to Bethesda. And I actually have never beaten 10-2. For Final Fantasy X to be my favorite RPG, because it was my first, it's very biased. There's no other reason other than it's not better than me. It's my favorite because it was first. 10-2, I know the story. I've seen it. I watched my friend play it, but I've never sat down to actually, because there's nothing, 10 captured me in a way that, and I tried 10-2, that 10-2 just didn't fully. But the story, my favorite scene is when Yuna and Titus, there are so many people out there right now who are watching this that just got mad that I pronounced it Titus instead of Titus, but they'll be okay. When they're in the water together and that like love scene, that and they go into the like high res resolution like with Square Enix is known for like the cutscene. I will never forget that. That's my favorite thing on this planet. Like to date. Even with the better graphics and where we've gone, that scene does it. It does it.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X has a very interesting reception because I think it's a recent joke now. People are like, you know, if someone's like this, their favorite is 3. Someone's like this, their favorite is 6. Oh, if someone's favorite is 10, it's because it's their first one. I was like, okay, Anne. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah. And see, I haven't heard that. And I would like, it's not the hardest game on the planet, right? It's not the greatest story ever. But it just does it. Even I don't even know, even if it wasn't my first, I still would. I'm in love with that game.
Yeah,
I'm in love with that game.
I really like 10. The first Final Fantasy I completed all the way through was at the time the most. It's not hated now, but it was 13. That was the first one I completed all the way through.
Okay. Because I almost had a heart attack and thought you said 12. I actually despise 12.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
There are just so many reasons, but 13, I love. It was a little too linear. Like, and when I say linear, like linear RPGs, JRPG, like there were literal times in 13 where I was like, I'm walking in a straight line. Like this, you can't get more linear than this definition of the game.
Yeah, you turn on that map and zoom out. It's like somebody took a piece of paper and just drew a line down it, and that was
It's
it.
literally. I remember the map, and because the first you're with, I think the first one of the first levels you're with Saz, and you're literally like running through the train station or whatever, and it's literally just a straight line. It's so funny. I like that one though. I didn't get to the other sequels, but I would like to get around to that.
I got to 13-2, and it was 10-2-ish. It was kind of cute. I didn't play Lightning Returns.
That was the third one.
Yeah, I wasn't understanding what was going on with that.
it was a little, and I guess I have to play the game, but I just didn't understand why this was the first one to get this many sequels. I was like, no, like, and like back to back.
Yeah.
Like we know Seven got movies and the remasters, but like I was like, damn, people must really, they must really love this. But it never took me to like, oh, now I have to play it so bad. I still am not like rushing to play it. It's not bad. It's not Final Fantasy 12, but here we are.
Yeah, 7 even has that PlayStation 2 fighting game that they didn't want to call Final Fantasy 7 the fighting game, so they just called it Air Guys and put some other little characters up in there.
I didn't know about this one. See, I know about Decidia, but I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's not PlayStation 2. It's a PlayStation fighting game, like 3D arena fighter, like Power Stone, and it's called Air Guys, and it has.
Oh, that's dope.
Not all the Final Fantasy 7 characters in there, but most of them. And then there's then there's some original characters up in there, so they don't have to call it Final Fantasy 7 the fighting game. It's cute. It's fun.
Yeah. And see, it's so funny because one of the next, I'm on this like collectible kick now, and so one of the next things that I want to get is a original PlayStation. So I might look into that because I want to play Xenosaga, the series.
Oh yeah,
because those games were great.
Oh,
those games are so good. Those games are so good. But yeah, RPGs that's greatest gaming genre ever. And if you try to argue me, you're wrong.
So your Twitch journey, from when you started Twitch up to now, how would you describe that? How has that been for you? And what would you say to people who are probably trying to get in on streaming on any platform with your taste in video games?
Right. And that's so funny. That's good. That was a great question because RPGs can be boring, right? There's boring stuff to do. There are even some streamers who don't do some things online when playing an RPG because they're boring. Looting, going through levels, trying to level up. Trying to or rearrange inventories and stuff like that. So when I first started streaming, it was a horror game. It was what was it? Little Nightmares. That's exactly what it was. And I told myself, because I remember talking to my boyfriend at that time, he was like, you're reactionary. Like, that's you. Like, even in real life. He was like, so you should do a horror game. And I was like, oh, great. RPGs were still my thing. But so I did that. And it was, at that time, I told my mom to pull up the stream and like 2 other people. I said, you don't have to watch. Like, I don't, like, honestly, it's great, but I don't need you because I literally talk to myself. Like, what I do online is what I do in my front room if I were playing my game. It's just in my head, or I just say the shit out loud. And so kind of to pack it all down and not going through each era, I've been streaming for almost 3 years now, 2.5, something like that. And eventually I developed, the RPG thing. The RPG, let me not call it a thing, the RPG branding that I have around me. And I stuck with it, and I told myself when I first started, I was always going to have fun. I told myself if I stop having fun, and this is before I got into some of the road bumps that I got into being a streamer, that I have been through rather. I told myself I was always going to have fun, and I was going to use this as a video game diary. And I was going to take other things outside of that to tie into Twitch, podcasting, creation on other platforms, hosting, taking my acting career to the next level as Kyron Turner, and just molding it all into one. And so as I've come through this, I will say there have been times when it was almost turned sour from forces outside of me. And I quickly turned that shit because that's not about to happen. I still enjoy Twitch today just as much as I did. If you looked at my uptime on how iPhones do you've been on this app this many times, because I usually watch either on my laptop or on my TV. my favorite two channels are YouTube and Twitch. It's always on that in some capacity, some screen in my house, right?
Gotcha.
Because I enjoy it. And so 2.5, 3 years later, I still enjoy it just as much.
Mm.
I have become more of myself. I think that I can be an entertainer by nature. I'm an actor. I like to have attention on me. I like eyes. I'm gonna be honest. But but as I've gone through being on Twitch, I've become more of myself because that's the most comfortable and most fluid place to operate from as a streamer. I think, and so that's the best advice I would give to somebody is to continue to be more of yourself because you operate so much more fluid. If somebody comes in with some bullshit or hate raid or they or on some like really wild, you know, thing, you can dust it off and keep moving. If a topic gets too heavy or if you're triggered that day and you want to be sensitive to somebody's feelings, but you also need to be sensitive to your own, you can say, hey, I can't do that right now. I love you. Let's do it some other time and keep moving. And so I've become more of myself and I'm the most comfortable in it. And I always remember, have fun. This is your video game diary. And this is not the end all be all of Gamer One. It doesn't stop at Twitch. Twitch will always be there. But even in this hiatus that I've gone in other certain creative areas of my life, it is a supplement to Gamer One, Kyron Turner, and not the stop sign. So, yeah.
So you are also an actor. How's that been going? When did you start actually doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I've always wanted the spotlight. And so I think sometimes it takes, there's two things I know. Sometimes it takes you a while to be okay with what you want and saying it. And then another thing I know is that not everybody wants that or is going to agree with that.
Yeah.
So I've always been dramatic as a kid. I was doing, born in Maysville, Kentucky. I was doing fashion shows there. Walking in like little modeling things when I was younger. My mom has videos of me singing Genuine Pony. And I was like 4 or 5. This is not a joke. I've always been animated. And so when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, when I was about 10, I realized I want to go to art school. I knew there was an art school. I was like, I want to go. And then I started in choir. I started singing in the choir at first. And then my choir teacher was like, okay, so listen, you're the most animated person up there. I'm putting you in an acting class. You don't have a choice. And that year, it was musical theater he put me in. And that year we were doing Pippin the musical and I auditioned and I got the lead of Pippin. And yeah. And it was tough and everybody hated me and they talked about me because I didn't know how to read music and I'd never danced before and it was all kinds of, like I was introduced to politics within creative spaces from day one. And so when I ran into it on Twitch or anytime I run into it, it's very much like, okay, all right, we see what's happening here. I know where to go. But yeah, I started in 10th grade and went to college for musical theater, got my degree in my BFA in musical theater and acting. As of today, it's been very slow. Life hit me hard after college. I had to move back home. As of now, I just did a huge move and readjusting. And I'm auditioning. I'm getting in acting classes again, even things like ballet classes, which I've switched more to film acting rather than musical theater. But it's there. Everything creative, because a lot has happened in my life, as everybody's, right? I don't want to make it a thing, but I'm proud of myself in this moment. Like even today before this, which I thank you for asking me to do this because I think this is this is where the excitement lies for me, you
Yeah.
know? And creativity's starting to come back. And I'm starting to have ideas and want to do things and I finally have the space for that. You know, we were talking before we started like you go to work, you get up, you got to make a check, you got to pay bills, and then oh wait, now I want to be creative, but the tank is empty. Why? Because you can't creativity. You can't force it like a job. You can't
Yeah.
go and make an Excel sheet or make a lit. It has to come to you, and so that's kind of the space I'm in now. And yeah.
So when you first came on the scene, and you mentioned this a little bit before, you were under an umbrella, the Sweet Talkers Network. Now that you're kind of branching out on your own, how's that feel? Is that feel harder? Does it feel a little more free? Because I don't know, how, because it seemed pretty chill over there. I'm not trying to insinuate that they had
Yeah.
rules or anything like, Kyron, you need to sit your butt down. But with you just being in control of your own brand solely, how is that different? Is it better? Is it easier, or is it harder?
You know, I didn't know what I was doing, and I still don't. When I was on the Sweet Talkers Network, and I still am very much in line with Chase. Chase Cassidy's one of my best friends on this planet.
Yeah.
And there's deep history there, and it may or may not be the end of my collaboration with the Sweet Talkers. After stepping away, there was just a lot going on at the time, so I can say that. But I will say too that when I started, I wasn't on my own. I had creative help and a really good friend of mine at the time, and it felt like it was coming, it was going, it was easy. Here very recently, life has hit me, a couple things have happened, and it's gotten harder.
Yeah.
But I don't complain, I don't cry. I might have a day where I might eat a pint of ice cream and a bag of Cheetos and cry and wake up, but it's caused me to rethink some things. I moved into this newer space, and it's a little smaller, but it's caused me to rethink some things and to kind of recalibrate. And I think that every piece of my journey is leading me to something.
Yeah.
I know that. I don't think that. And right now, I'm doing things by myself. And that's not bad or good. That is this part of the journey.
Yeah.
And it's how I see it. So, and the train is just now starting to, it is just now starting to push again. And that feels good because I had so much coming. And so right now, it feels good. It's daunting because I literally, as of right now in my phone, have a list of things
Yeah.
and ideas. And, okay, I can't do this now, but let's go in this direction. And I can't do this, but let's do this. Blah, 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 but it's good. And I think I will appreciate it because even the worst moments of my life here, and honestly, post-COVID has been crazy for me, probably as everybody else's life. But I've really had to look back and be like, I appreciated that rough-ass time. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So with other things you've branched out with, you've also had a podcast, the Gamer One podcast. How was it running a podcast? Because obviously that's something I've wanted to do. How was that medium?
That medium for me, I want to go back to it. Excuse me, my allergies stuck. But I want to go back to it. I loved it. It was interesting because being on Twitch, you have you have something set up, or doing YouTube, you have something set up, you have a camera to look at, and so there were so many times where I would find myself recording the podcast, and I'd be looking for a camera. I'd be like, "Girl, you don't have a camera. Just talk to the mic."
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was a learning experience. The One and Only Gamers podcast I ran with a friend of mine at the time, the Ephemeral Ocean, and it was it was a learning experience, and I'll point to this story. There was one episode that it wasn't the first. It might have been the second or third where we made because we had extensive notes, like extensive, like we had it set because we had things that one thing we told ourselves was we don't want to just get on here and be two gay black men or queer black men. I identify as pansexual. Ocean that I knew at the time was gay, and we are not gonna just get on here and do what a lot of other people do. And no offense to them, it works for them, but we wanted substance and entertainment. You know, right? And so we talked about these things in a way that was substantive but also entertaining.
Yeah.
And there was one episode where we just could not get it done. Tripping over words, losing points, topics, feeling awkward. And I mean, we spent maybe 2.5 hours, and we made the decision we gotta do this again. We scrapped the whole thing, threw it all away, and had to do and talk about the same things as if they were fresh.
Ah.
A different day. So, but it caused me to be so creative. We did an episode, and this is part of what I'm gonna do, or part of my angle for what I'm gonna do YouTube wise is we did an episode where we kind of wrote stories to ourselves as kids, or and like had a creative writing project. And I wrote a short story, and it's called Projection, and I read it. And there's something about me that when I play a video game or when I read a piece of fantasy novel or something that's expressive, I feel it literally in my entire body. And there was one episode, that one episode where we read the stories. I started crying and I'm getting chill. Like that's just happens. It's not something that I reach for, and it's kind of creativity. It lives in that, and so in the spontaneity of the moment and not the pressured work to try to reach for something. And it caused me to be more creative, and it was great, and I loved it. And then the podcast as of now is not a thing anymore. It won't be the one and only Gamers podcast moving forward, but it was great. I love it. I haven't gone back and listened to it. It's a bit now. I did listen to the episodes as they released.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone back for personal reasons about why it ended. But it was so. I loved it. I loved doing it. It felt. Then that's what I mean. I don't want Gamer One to and this. I'm not. I don't want Gamer One to just be. I don't want it to end at Twitch.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be this whole thing that inspired, and then it culminates into a Twitch experience that is about couch gaming, but instead of having people in your front room, they're online and they're talking to you about the game and making silly jokes, and damn, you got your ass whooped on that last fight, or oh, you kicked his and then you go here and you got the podcast, and then the YouTube, and then he's in this TV show, and then damn, he's hosting the Game Awards, and then I just that's what I see, that's what I want. So the podcast was great. I do plan on bringing it back. I'm have a couple photo shoots and stuff lined up, or I'm getting some things lined up here to start really getting back on the horse. But if you're thinking about doing a podcast, make sure it's substantive. And I'm talking to your viewers and listeners, but make sure it's substantive and make sure it's entertaining, and fucking do it, because it causes you to be creative, and that is awesome.
Yeah, it lasted. Well, I say this, I don't know the normal length of podcast, but you had about 12 episodes?
Was it? I think I think it was 8. I think it was 8.
And I look it up.
You might be right now, because I told you it was somewhere in that, because I think we were shooting for 10. So yeah, I think it was 7 or 8. Because we were going to do it by season and do 10 a season. And I think even pushing for 10, I remember us talking like halfway through, like, 3, 4. I was like, "Ooh, child, maybe we should have not held ourselves to this standard because we wanted to treat it as if it were a job that we needed, and we wanted to treat our art with the respect that we treat a paycheck.
Is it the one and only gamer podcast with a Y or just a AM?
It's got a Y, GAYMER, the one and only Gamers podcast.
Oh, Gamers. Oh yeah, because you had the hyphen in there.
Yeah, no, I got it saved. We had 6 episodes. We didn't even make 8. We had 6. We only had 6. They were long as hell. Like, I think our first episode was 2 hours. Like, because I can talk. Let's just say that. But yeah, I loved it. My favorite episode being the episode about it's called The Shape of a Gamer. And it's my short story. The episode my short story was on. I loved it. Still had some great ideas, and I still have some great ideas. But when I do another podcast, 2 things I want to be. Well, 3. I want to be consistent. I want to have longevity, and I want to have it be something different than what One and Only was, because that was its own thing, and it was beautiful as its own thing. And I think that sometimes we try to hold on to things too long, and so it's okay to be like, okay, that's what it was. What's next?
So for your next one, would you I'm just talking, not should pursue. Would you think you would prefer it to be like just you talking, a revolving door of guests, or you and one or more other people all the time?
It would probably be a revolving door. I love and trust people. I think that the term "I hate people" and "people suck" and blah, 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 I think we throw that around way too easily.
Yeah.
People are the fucking greatest. They save your life. A lot of people can be trash, but people are the greatest thing on this planet. I'm an extrovert. I think that's you rarely hear people say that. I am that. Like, when I'm out in public, I want to, hey, my name, I will introduce, and so it'll be a revolving door, and I say all that, what I just said, to say, I wouldn't want it to end as abruptly as the One and Only Gamers podcast ended. And so, how do you do that? You put it in your own hands. Now, it's going to be about video games. And video games are always more interesting when you talk with it about them with other people. So I think the revolving door was kind of the lines that I was thinking when thinking about doing it. When I do it again, not thinking, but when I do it again.
Gotcha. So another avenue you've been doing is YouTube. Once you announced that the podcast had ended, you had started up a whole new YouTube channel. You posted your first video introducing yourself. So we've talked about, being live on Twitch, and I've done all 3 of these things, so I also know, but from your perspective, how's it different when you're like live on Twitch versus just recording your voice, like just talking, versus getting in front of a camera and talking to no one and then having to edit it and make it look cute? Like, so,
How
is that?
Excuse me. It's funny because you do have to get used to Twitch, right? And I think part of the biggest hurdle with Twitch, and that there's a couple reasons why people don't stay on the Twitch track. And I think one of them is that it's hard to sit in this room by yourself and have fully blown ass conversations with people whose voices you do not hear.
Yep.
And who some you've never met before, and some you may never meet. And when you make that switch to YouTube, it's a whole different thing. Now I will, and here there's some things I'll have to do here recently myself, but I have always and will moving forward pay an editor. The patience that my mind does not have for that shit. I'm gonna say that again. The patience that my mind does not have for that shit. I have, so that video, the things that I was doing on YouTube were edited. The stuff that I do in the future for YouTube when I get it started back up will be edited by somebody else. So I can't speak too much from the editing side. But what I can say, and I've edited a few things here and there, but the major stuff that I've been in, I ain't touched at all. I'm gonna give that credit where credit is due. But being an actor, I say all that to say, and being in front of the cameras and on stage where you know it's a room full of people, but you can't really see them because of the light, it's really helped. Even now, like I get on Twitch and I tell myself two things: be yourself, protect your boundaries.
True.
I get in front of a camera before I go in for an audition. Be yourself, protect your boundaries. I sit down and I might be recording something for YouTube. Be yourself. And that usually helps.
Okay.
And I find out the days that I don't say things like that and be nice to myself like that, then I might say something that's like, why did you say that? Like, was that you? You know, or somebody's doing something that may not be within my range of my boundaries that I find comfortable, right? Or saying something that I find a little, and I don't stand up for myself. Then I get off, and so I always say, when you cut the camera off, whether you leave an audition, whether you're recording for YouTube, whether it's you're streaming, I need to get off of Twitch. I need to get off in front of the camera and be like, I feel good about everything that I did and said. Even when something went wrong, somebody came in and called me the F slur or the N word, or somebody said, you know, Kyron, blah blah blah, or that made me feel some type of way. I'd be like, hey, all right, hey, so that's not cool. I'm gonna need you to stop, and I can keep moving, and then get off and be like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't care if they're mad because I wasn't rude. I'm not ever gonna disrespect you, and it all comes from a place of love. Because I think sometimes in public mediums like Twitch or in YouTube comments, all you see, or Instagram posts where somebody's doing some kind of media or show, you see the performer, the entertainer who's providing this content to you, and they're not. It's almost like they become not human, and so you feel like you could do and say anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, wait a minute, hold on, girl. And so, yeah, I be myself, protect my boundaries. And the problems that I had before with trying to put myself in different spaces when I sat down for different things, they kind of go away. Whether I'm on Twitch, YouTube, at an audition, on a film set, or in an interview, be yourself, protect your boundaries. You know? Use the nerves to fuel who you are. Because if I use my nervous energy, like even before today, I know when I'm nervous, it's a good thing. And then, because then that's a tank full of energy that I can sap from to be myself. Because when you're nervous, you can't be fake.
Yeah.
You're too fucking nervous. So all you got is you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. With Twitch or just live streaming in general, that always comes off more like broadcast. With podcasting, it's radio. And with pre-recorded video, it's more like television. So it does kind of fit into all three different categories of entertainment that we've known since like what, the 30s?
Yeah, it feels the same. It's a different thing whether you're working off a script or a list of points, or if you're on Twitch. And because believe it or not, the first time I got on Twitch, I had a script and a list of points, and then I realized, girl, this ain't that. Not for you. Girl, just get on here and talk, girl. Be yourself, child.
Yeah, I can't follow a script because there's so many times like if I have to like convey information, I can follow a script. But if I'm like trying to just entertain. I can't follow a script because there'll be so many times I look at the script like, why did I write that? That's weird.
Exactly. You like, because you literally, that is exactly what happens, because you look down, and that's what happened my first couple. I looked at it, why the fuck did I write Bubble Sparkles? I don't even remember what that was about. And so, okay, anyway, before, just start talking, comment.
Exactly.
So yeah, very much that. They all feel the same. They really do.
What was your favorite video to record on the Sweet Talkers channel? Because the one video you did that I always think about is the Starfield headset. You were so excited to get that headset.
And it's so funny because I got it like a week before it came out, and it just sat there, and I was like, can we do the video now? Can we do the video now? Can we do the video? But I had to wait till I got this hair done. Amen. My favorite is probably there's two of them. I am my most authentic self when I'm telling my truthful experience in a respectful way. And the two videos that I'm going to reference, one of them is not very respectful, and the other one is. So my two favorites, and it's only because of the growth, is took a little bit of a hiatus on the Sweet Talkers Network, and then I ended up coming back because I wanted to focus on Twitch and stuff like that, and had some life stuff going on. So I came back and did a video called "You're Not a Content Creator, You're a Streamer." It was something. Mm-hmm. It was essentially a video differentiating the two, because I feel like I felt my thought process has changed quite a bit since then. Mm-hmm. I still feel the same. I said what I said. Mm-hmm. But it's changed, and I think in that video, because there was a lot of stuff taken out that he was like, we had to take that out because we don't want to convey the wrong meaning. And so I feel like in that video, I still feel that way, and I still mean what I mean, and I said what I said type stuff. But it was one of my favorite videos because it was when I started to become. I think when people are like creating content, you want to be perfect the first time. And you got to make a whole bunch of videos that you're probably going to look back on and be like, ooh, I don't know how I got to where I am now, but we had to fuck up a bunch of times. And so a lot of my first video, I didn't know so I was like, fuck it. Let's just start reaching for shit and doing some stuff that I've seen, but trying to be myself, because I always wanted to be myself. And so that video was my favorite because I found a voice. I was like, oh, this fire. Oh, fuck. That whole video, I felt fire because I had something to say. And when I have something to say, I stand on it like soapbox. But the growth of one of the last videos that I did, and the other one that's my favorite, and this is why these two are my favorite, it was Being Black While Gaming, I think was the name of it, and how we're treated, and how much money that we put into it over every other demographic, but how we're treated. And I had something to say, but it wasn't mean, it wasn't malicious, it was backed by facts, research, and evidence, and it felt like me. So those two videos were my favorite, and when I go forward, that's why I gotta remember. I gotta have something to say, because that's when the fire turns on. And I don't want it to be, and I'm not going to name any of these big gaming companies or big YouTubers in gaming. I don't want it to be that. Yeah. I don't want to do what they do. And I try, I've done it, and I realize everybody does reviews. You can do a review, but do it your way, like creative. Yes. What is different? What are you gonna like? What's popular now? The balloon popping thing. I'm not gonna do a balloon popping YouTube episode with gamers. I'm not doing that shit. And so those were my two favorite, and those were when I felt like this is me. This is me. So yeah.
Yeah, especially on YouTube, they always tell you to find your niche, which I feel like that's a bit too vague. Yeah, I think if you say something like find your voice, that works a lot better. But it can be very hard, and it is very unfortunate that YouTube, I say this, but I understand why they do it. It's not until you get partnered that they give you a lot of tools that will help you. They say, like for example, one of my videos underperformed and they sent me like a whole draft sheet. They say, your video underperformed, let's see why. They say, you see this? These are the other videos that your video is popping up next to. Would you click on your video next to these other videos? And I was kind of like, well, I mean,
That's nice.
I was like, oh, well, old dude over there ain't got no shirt on and chained up. I got to be honest. I would have clicked on that one first.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right, because they give you the tools and the analytics, and you can actually start making intelligent business decisions. So, and I didn't know that. So that is worlds beyond
and
what you get.
Yeah, I think they do that because by that point, the algorithm will finally have put you in a category to understand what where. I don't want to say where you belong, but where you belong basically, like, because gaming is such a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Gay gaming is more precise, but also that's still broad because
it's very broad.
Different ethnicities, different. Because I feel like right now, as far as gaming in the LGBTQ space, the most popular genre is like farming games or stuff like that. Not most popular with that demographic, but as far as videos I see on YouTube, I see a lot of farming cozy games kind of being put under the queer umbrella. So I feel like for that subsection, you see it's already found that its own niche. So depending on what you make, you might be thrown over there. You might be thrown with the kind of more thirst trappy stuff. You might just be, I think, just like Elden Ring or like what is the name of that game? Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is also kind of created.
That's another one.
Yeah. That's created its own kind of subcategory in itself.
With how big it is and the queer and the relationships. Oh yeah. We love that one.
Same
and
with
I have
Mass
yet to
Effect.
get my hands on that one.
Me
Mass
too.
Effect.
I want Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. I want that collector's edition that they put out, but I heard there was so much crap around it when it first came out and I was moving. So I was like, I'm going to wait, girl.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm going to get it later.
Dragon Age 2. I think that's the same company as Mass Effect, isn't it? I think.
Is it? Because I think it's BioWare for Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think they're both BioWare. I don't know. Yeah. But there's so many little subcategories that I feel like the algorithm needs to put you somewhere, and it's crazy how it gets more and more. I don't want to say like Hollywood, but like what you hear from producers over in Hollywood is like, hey, you did the audition. We don't know where to put you. You need to go somewhere. I'm gonna get Janet over there. She cute, and all the boys gonna like her. We're gonna put her on TV.
That's real though, because if you, and it's a time limit too, because if your video doesn't do certain numbers in a certain time period, it's never going to do anything. And so it is the algorithm. The algorithm is harsh.
Yes.
And that's everywhere. And that's another subset of reasons why, if you're gonna do this, you better love it. Because I promise you, it's less than 1% who pop off like you that fast. Most people who do, you see, they popped off. They've been at it for way longer than you thought you would have to be to get to where they are. So
another interesting thing they do that I didn't even know, I don't know if people just thought this wasn't necessary to tell, but they give you a media kit. And I was like, you're giving me a media kit? That's like a resume. You're like, what on earth?
Yeah, and I didn't even know about those either until Twitch, because I'm not on Twitter anymore. But when I was on that, I started seeing streamers and they had this. I was like, bitch, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
Like, y'all are all professional and shit. Like, I just wanted to play games, girl.
Yeah, they tell you stuff like, so you send this to these brands you want to partner with. I'm like, brands? I just turned on my PlayStation.
The fact that when YouTube first came out, nobody thought this is where it would be. Thank you, Vine. Thank you. Rest in peace, Vine. Rest in peace.
Oh, Vine. Some of those memes live on.
They still do, via Reels on TikTok and Instagram, and we thank him. We thank him so much.
So now that you haven't like completely settled in, have you? You still trying to like get everything situated? Oh,
Yeah, no, everything in here is not set up yet. It's I've been here. I've been moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Been here for about 2 weeks now,
okay.
and
Black
with my
Hollywood.
job and trying to. It was just ATL Pride and
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sure I get in the gym, and so I just got my gym membership. I had to get here and register to vote and all this other stuff. So it's slow, and I'm making sure I make some kind of progress every day, but it's not always. It's not all the way complete or
Mm-hmm.
settled in yet. Yeah.
How have your streams been since you've like come back after just setting,
Yeah.
not settling in, but just sitting down, basically?
I had to change the way things were because I lost a lot of space with the move.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they've been good. I had to. This was very emotional, so it's been. I tell myself if I'm not having fun, anytime that I abruptly end a stream or get off, and it's like, where'd he go? It's probably because I'm realizing in that moment I'm not having fun and I'm not forcing this. I should
True.
get off.
Yeah.
Um, and that hasn't happened, but I found myself like, do I want to do this? Like, do I have the energy to do this? And then finally reaching to, will you have fun doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's yes, then I go. And here recently, even if some wild shit happens, somebody says the worst or the most sexual or the most disrespectful thing to me, or if something bad happens, I generally stand my ground and get it out the way or speak on it. What I'm saying is I don't allow things to make it bad. And so there's either two times I'm on Twitch. There's two things about me hitting live. It's either I hit it and I'm having fun, or three things. I hit it, I'm having fun. I hit it, I'm not having fun, and I get off. Or I don't think I'm gonna have fun, or life is kicking my ass and I just don't get
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yeah.
And I make sure here recently that I'm sticking to a schedule so that I can make time for other creative endeavors and friendship building and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully finding that love and all the other stuff and tending to other areas because it's very easy. You can have so much fun on Twitch. It's very easy to just hit live every day, girl. Just hours, girl. Just hit it, hit it. Hit it. And I used to do it and I still do it and I can be on for hours, but there are some days and I have so much fun with Twitch that I have to be like today. I was like, oh, well, I could do the interview and then get off and I told a friend I'd go see him and then come back and get on Twitch. Fuck the gym. Girl, no. You stay off. You're not supposed to be on today. Take your ass to the gym. Do your shit. It'll be there tomorrow. So yeah.
You said hit it. Remind me of that Ariana Grande song. And then you hit it. That's what I started thinking of. I was like, oh my God.
You got Yeah.
So you're playing Starfield again. No, that's someone else playing Starfield right now. What game are you currently playing on your streams?
I am playing right now. So Starfield was a thing, and long story short, I had it on Game Pass. Me and subscription services are no longer a thing. I buy physical copies now. And so with the move and stuff, I haven't been able to get it back. But I fell into a fucking Elden Ring loophole. Now, Elden Ring's been out for a minute. And when it first originally released, I was only doing YouTube. So I did YouTube videos on it, and I was going to do playthroughs. Then as I switched to Twitch, I played other games because I didn't know what I was doing, and then I got farther and farther away from Elden Ring, lost the story. I didn't play a lot of it, so I brought it back, and I was like, let's play that. I need another open world game because I just beat. I put like 200 hours in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, just a fucking perfect game. And I beat that, and then I was like, oh, Elden Ring, let's do that. It's cute. And now it's got me in a grip hold. I'm playing that. I only play 2 RPGs on my channel all the time. I'm playing Octopath Traveler 2 and Elden Ring. But right now, it's really just Elden Ring because I just can't get enough. I can't get enough. It's so fucking good. I can't. And I because I've been gaming and playing RPGs for so long, I have a proclivity to be good at video games. I can say that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I like playing games on hard. Like there's automatic settings on I have a PS5 and a Series X where you can default your difficulty settings to start on any default you want. So you can default it on easy, normal. I always default to hard because games on normal just aren't as challenging. And the fact that Souls games are just always hard. So, I love it. It's like a masochistic love for this game. I love Elden Ring, and I can't get enough. And the way that Souls games make you piece together the story, I love that too, because story is one of the best parts of a video game. And if you don't have a good story, it's not a good game. So, to me, don't attack me, child. Y'all don't attack me, child. But yeah.
Well, I guess if it's story driven and the story ain't good, it's not a good game. That's
but see, you can't have too much story. It can't be only because I'm playing a video game, so there are other pieces I need. But with this level of RPG and this level of an open world game, still referring to Elden Ring, and the way they make you search for the story and pay attention and think about it. There's literally nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Have you ever played because I'm trying to get into these games. I'm just like, if I play them by myself, it's fine, but I'm trying to stream them. I need everybody to be entertained. The old D&D games. Like, I downloaded all of those off Steam. And I'm like, I want to stream these, but I need everyone else to be entertained as well.
I don't know if not those. Now, I would play an older title. And I'm dead ass serious about this. One of my favorite games as a kid that I can remember the earliest is Jumpstart First Grade. Ooh. Let me find a way to get a copy of Jumpstart First Grade. I bet we fucking stream it. I bet we gonna fucking play it and add 3 + 2 and call it 6 on purpose and know it's wrong so that we can get the little animation and say it's 5. So I would play an older game. Maybe not those, but I think with video games and with just in Twitch in general, and me and a friend were debating this at one point, whether people come for the game and stay for the game, or they come for you and stay for you, or do they come for the game and stay for you? And we were just kind of talking about the nuances of that, and I think it's somewhere in the middle of all of that.
Yes.
And as long as you entertained, I was about to say you could be playing, Pong, but I don't know if I would watch Pong on Twitch.
You have to really being silly for me to sit there and watch that.
You're gonna have to be doing something, because
I ain't about to sit there and look at that ball go back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I tried to reach, but I would watch Pac-Man. I would play retro games, but they would have to be heavily nostalgic for me. Yes. For me to convey the emotion that I do when I'm online.
Well, that's starting to be a thing because they just released Backyard Baseball on Steam from 1997. I was like, no, y'all didn't. They said, yes, we did. And we're releasing all the other Backyard games too. I say, y'all coming from my pockets.
Because I love baseball, but Backyard football, oh my God. See, I'm primarily, I don't have Steam, but I'm in the process of trying to get a PC, and that is a huge motivator. Because if they release those on they could charge $115, and I swear on everything I love, I would buy it just for nostalgia.
Let me check, because all the other humongous entertainment games are released coming on console. So I'm gonna see. Oh God! So I'm gonna see if
Backyard Baseball, football, Jumpstart First Grade, Second Grade. There was another one, Math Blaster. It was in space. Math Blaster. Oh my God.
That was it.
I would play those on Twitch. I would play Math Blaster, Jumpstart First Grade, and Backyard Football, Baseball on Twitch if I had the opportunity, 100%. And I'd stop playing other games to play those games because it would just be unlocking memories left and right, left and right. That is so dope.
Yeah, Backyard Baseball, they released it October 10th,
That is
2024
crazy.
from Playground
That's crazy.
Productions. I'm
They
trying to
better
see.
they better start playing it on Twitch. Bump Apex, Backyard Baseball. You better start getting tournaments going. That's amazing.
I'm trying to
I love that.
see if they're gonna. Oh, not the website feels like you playing the game. They need to stop.
See, yeah.
Fox Sports. Okay, people are reviewing it. Is it coming to anything else? Is what I'm trying to figure out. Because the Humongous Entertainment Games did.
Because if they put that in some kind of bundle, I really like so much so that I follow Jumpstart First Grade, the video game, on Twitch. I think nobody's ever played it except for one person at like 4 a.m, and they weren't on very long. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, because I wanted to see it.
Yeah, there's a market for that too. People love watching that stuff. They're like, I remember playing this.
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, my name,
so good.
Pajamakin, is a reference to Pajama Sam. A lot of people are like shocked when they figure that out. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, Pajama Sam. That's why I said Pajamakin.
From hold on. Oh my God, this is also a memory unlocked. There are so many things in my childhood that I cannot believe I forgot them. Oh my God. That's great. I am also one of those people you can add to your list because that just unlocked a memory.
Yep, Pajamakin, Pajama Sam. I was like, yeah,
that is
that's
crazy.
me.
I love that. I love it.
But yeah, there's a huge market for like nostalgic gaming. Huge market. I've seen a lot of it.
That's all it is. And it's people who live for that nostalgic craving, you know?
So are you going to be doing any type of reworking of like any logos or artwork? Or I'm only asking this because like me, people who talk to me every day, they know I like try to get a new logo, new intro video like every 5 seconds. They're like, people didn't even get used to the old one. I'm like, that's too late because I need a new trailer.
I'm moving on. Yes and no. There will be newer things and probably different, because even this is my starting screen, the poster behind me. It was the artwork was done by Ephemeral Ocean. But moving forward, I think I'll have there's still some stuff that I want done that was in the works, but unfortunately wasn't able to come through. But I think that there aren't enough. And I know we can talk about other marginalized groups, but again, most of the culture, most of the money, most of the infusion of popularity comes from Black gamers. And that's just the truth. And so and this is let me just let me just preface this. This is in no way, shape, or form to downplay, to disrespect anybody who does things like this. But I refuse to dress as fantasy or cosplay as a character with a wig that isn't my. I have black hair. I have black skin. If I'm gonna be somebody, it's gonna be my version of it with me. If I'm going to create a character that is in this fantastical world of this video game space, it's going to be me. Now, I can use what I'm using in this picture, and it's my starting screen on Twitch, is the Buster Sword, because Cloud is fucking dope. I'm not here to put down anything, but as I've said before, we need more of this. We just do. And I'm not about to continue to not put out more of this. I just won't. I won't. I just won't. I don't care what people gravitate towards. I don't care what gets views. I don't care what gets numbers. I don't care what makes people like you. It's going to be more of this. And so it's going to mold. It's going to evolve. But I'm thinking about, and I will be doing, photo shoots in fantastical themes with my black skin and my black hair
Mhm.
and my created versions of characters that I love and characters that are me, which is Gamer One, right? And
Mhm.
so yeah. But some stuff I don't think will ever go away. Like I love this. I fucking
Mhm.
love this. I love this.
It's
Okay.
so awesome. All the
Uh,
references.
I love it. All right. But I'm here to just add. And so yeah, like photo shoots are on the line. I have different ideas for more artwork, including my Gamer One character, and the sky's the limit.
Mhm.
Sky's the limit.
All right. You have any
Yeah.
closing statements you want to tell the audience?
Uh, um, I'm in a stage of doing.
Mhm.
I think I can talk a lot, as you have heard. But I'm in a stage of doing, and so I just say, look out for me, because there's two reasons why I make the moves I do. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to make an impact. I want to be in the spotlight. But I also want to give back. I want to use it
Mhm.
to influence. I literally want to bring other people up. That's all I want. And it hurts me when things are said or done to counter that, and I
Mhm.
can't do anything about what I've heard or said. All I want to do is give back. If I could,
Yes.
and I swear to God, and I'm gonna start here very recently again, but if I could give away the most expensive TV and updated versions of consoles every time I streamed or put out something, I would do it. I swear to God, if I had the eyes like somebody like Kai Cenat or some of
Mhm.
these other huge streamers like a Jahara Jade, who I love, like if I had the eyes they had, oh my God, y'all just take it, bitch. Girl, just fucking take it. And so I do. I want to give back, and so just I say just watch out in every medium, in any capacity, TV, film,
Mhm.
YouTube, Twitch, um, um, interviews with great Black queer people like you, and just anything. I just want to be a creative. I don't want to copy. I don't want to be more of the same. I want to be Kyron J Turner, aka Gamer One. That's who I want to be. That's who I am, and that's where my creativity will always kind of cook. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we leave, why don't you drop your socials for us?
Oh. My Instagram is Kyron, KYRONJT, all one thing. Um, you can find my threads on my Instagram. And I think it's, if you go to threads, you just type in the same Kyron JT, the same thing. I don't have a Twitter. TikTok I have. It's JYMERONE. But I'm not really on TikTok. Like I don't know. I think that's a great way to be discovered and a great way to use a medium. I've done it. I've put out some things there, but I'm not very consistent with it because it's not me. And again, I'm a do what makes me feel like me the most in the most creative spaces. So
Mhm.
Instagram and Threads, Kyron JT is where you can mostly find me.
Awesome. And obviously Twitch and YouTube as well.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and most weekends. I start at around 7:30 weekdays, and then weekends. It might be a 2-hour stream. It might be an 8-hour stream. I might
That's
start at
true.
12. It might start at 9.
That's true.
So, but yeah.
Oh, you also have a Discord server too. What's the name of your Discord
Wow,
server
just
again?
just read me, child. Just keep me up to date. He said, "What do you have?" I named 2. I actually have 7. No, but just it's the Gamer One Discord, and
Yeah.
there are ideas stirring with that too, because I think I go on so many tangents, but you want to make it your own. So Discord is kind of under this construction thing right now,
Mhm.
but I do have a Gamer One Discord just to keep in contact with a bunch of just like really dope gamers that I meet, I can trust, and I can have silly ass or very intelligent conversations about. story pieces, games, or just things in general, and have differing opinions on. Because one
Hmm.
thing the gamers that are a part of my Twitch community know is I'ma have an opinion
Hmm.
and it's gonna be loud. so, so yeah.
And what do you call your community? Do you have a name for your community? I think you do. Or
I
do you?
it used to so it used to be the Gamer Guild.
Oh yeah.
And that yeah, it used to be the Gamer Guild, and that kind of fell off for a few reasons. But it's just gamers now. GAYMERS. I usually
Ooh.
encapsulate the Y, because in a parentheses, because it's kind of become like a thing for me.
Hmm.
Because it's not just gamers. You cannot be, you could be straight. I like, or you cannot be. I'm pansexual. Gamer. I
Hmm.
just, what the hell? I'm gonna be Pamer one. That don't work. So,
Hmm.
so I like guys. I like boys too. So it's gamer one, and so yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, you all, this has been Kyron Turner, aka Gamer One, formerly known as Player One. And I've really enjoyed having you here, Kyron. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Woo!
This was cool. I appreciate you for inviting me. Anytime. Thank you, Ken.
Yes. And I know your audience is going to be here. So, hey, gamers.
Waka! And if you talk smack, I'm getting you back.
Wait, what does that
Like
mean?
to be
Because
shaded.
what does
They like to
Waka
be
mean?
shaded.
Because I think,
Okay, what?
because I always think of Pac Man and I have like really dirty thoughts with Pac Man and Waka. And so I'm always
Waka,
like,
waka, waka, waka. Yeah, I can. That could. I've had a couple theories, but it really just started. It's from it's Fozzie Bear, Waka Waka, and I think I forgot in what form I heard it, but I do this thing where I hyperfixate, and
mm.
sometime back in COVID, I just started saying it. I don't know why. It didn't really have a meaning. My boyfriend at the time was like, "What the hell?" He even has his own version of it now. He literally has his own version of it because of and it just literally some things fall off. This has never fallen off.
Oops.
Walker will always be here. If you've known me long enough, depending on the way I say it, you can know what kind of response I'm giving.
Oh my gosh.
so, so yeah, it's just stupid. It's me. So here we are.
Well, you've all heard the explanation here.
There we go, Waka.